Lifting the cow is an important part of both the assessment and the nursing of the downer cow. When you first got the cow, if you can lift the cow up, you get a much better idea of what sort of damage there might be and how severely affected she is when you lift her up to see what she can do on each of her 4 limbs. As well as that, a cow that's sitting on the ground for a number of days will get pressure to the muscles of the legs and get lack of circulation. So lifting her up is important to allow the circulation to occur, and that becomes an important part of the healing process. Lots of different ways you can lift them. The common way is the hip clamp, which are readily available and reasonably cheap. You can get a variety of slings, and you can also go to water baths, which are very good but quite expensive and fairly limited in how they're used. So hip clamps are quite common. You can buy them for a couple of $100 at most retail stores, and there's a few things you have to make sure you do and don't do. So when we're putting them on, we put them onto the bony part of the pelvis like this, and we need to secure it nice and firmly. Put it on firmly, not under... If it's a bit too loose, when you pick her up, you might end up fracturing off the point of the pelvis and doing more harm than if you put it on tighter. I like to put it on firmly, but obviously not grossly over tight. That secures it from there, and then we bring our tractor in and we pick the cow up. So when we lift that cow's stood quite easily and taken her weight quickly, which is fantastic. You might have noticed that she knuckled over on this leg, which is a sign of one of the parts of the paralysis that she had. So it's important to try and position that to get it back to make her standing weight properly. This is excellent because the cow is able to take her full weight. We've now taken the slack out of it, and all the clamp is doing is balancing her after lifting her. She's not fully supported by that. If the cow is not able to stand taking a reasonable percentage of her weight, so she's fully supported on that, you're going to get a lot of damage around the hips, and the damage from that can make the cow very sore, and after a few days she's in so much pain she won't want to stand, and then she'll give up. So if she's not standing effectively, it's not worth lifting the cow at all. You'll do more damage than what you will good. Some farmers think that if the cow is up, even if she's fully supported by the clamp, so basically she's dangling by the clamp with the clamp taking all of the weight, they think that's good because it's getting circulation here. No, it's not. It's not doing anything effective at all, and it's being counterproductive and making it more of an issue with pain, more complications, and have less likely of success. If a cow can't take a reasonable percentage of her weight and can't stand effectively, don't lift her at all. Just continue to roll her a number of times during the day and leave her 2 or 3 days before trying again. Hopefully in that time she's stronger and will be better able to stand. The other key rule with lifting is to make sure that it's supervised. Now what I mean by that, I don't mean you have to stand there looking at it the whole time, but you need to be able to keep coming back to the cow regularly to see if she is still standing effectively. If we get a cow up standing effective like this and then go off for a couple of hours, a lot of cows tire quite quickly, and you might find 10 minutes after you've gone she's got tired, she's then slopped down on the front legs, and by that stage she's then fully taking the weight by the clamp, and that's then ineffective lifting. And if she's being ineffectively lifted for a period of time, that will cause the damage and is counterproductive. The length of time for lifting will depend on how long the cow is able to stand, and that will vary from each cow. As they get stronger, they tend to be able to stand for longer. And whether you lift once, twice or 3 times a day depends on how long the cow stands for. Lifting it 3 or 4 times a day can sometimes be worse because it causes too much damage to it. But if they're standing up effectively and only for 5 or 10 minutes, it probably is good to lift her up 2 or 3 times a day rather than just once. Whereas if she's lifting and standing effectively for 2 or 3 hours, once a day is more than adequate.